Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to update the player's health. So now we set the health right now. Remember in the player base in the event graph, we set the player's health and armor when they spawn. So that should update. Now we can update it in another event, but I think it's better to just do it like continue the code here and the health. So when we set the health, we set the variable and replicate it. Let's just continue the code here. Let me just drag this one down so I have more space. Let me create a new event. Remember, when you update UI, it is running through the client. So UI is running through the client, so you can't really do it up here. So we have to create a client event called set player health. And then you have to run this on owning client, reliable. And now what you need to do with this one is, let me just take all of this away here. We already have the WB main reference. So remember, we have the player controller already here, and we can say WB main like this. And then we can drag from here and say update. I believe we called it update health UI, this one. And now we can connect it into the event like this. And we can now plug the health now. So here, let's call the client event CL update or CL set player health, this one. And for the current health, we're just going to plug in this one here. And for the maximum health, we already have a function that we created, set max player health, like this here. Okay, so this is fully functional. Now let us do the same thing for the armor. So we have the set player armor, and let me just move this down a bit like this. And let us make a new event called CL set player armor. Run it through the client reliable, and then run the client one up here, set player armor, this one. And for this one, just like before, you need the player controller reference, you need WB main, and then we need to call the update armor UI. Go ahead and connect it, connect the variables to the event, just like before. And let us connect the current armor here. And for the maximum armor, I am going to plug in the function get player max armor. And remember, the function is basically just getting the player info and taking that information from here. Okay, so let's go back to the event graph, health and armor here. And now it should be working. So we're calling the event. It's going to update the UI whenever we call set player armor or set player health. Let's click play now. And if I select terrorist, you can see it is correctly set to 100 and 100. So what is happening is in the begin play, we are setting the player's health. And remember, the player health you have defined in your data table, this maximum health. So it's setting the player health. It's going to go here from to this event, going through the server. The server is going to set this variable to whatever you have plugged in here. And then it's going to update the UI with these values because it's going through the client, updating the UI. And it's going through here, update health UI. It's taking those numbers you have plugged in. It's giving you the percentage because you have divided those. And then you're also displaying the text correctly to the screen through this one. So this was it for updating the health and UI. So now we can actually, or health and armor, and now we can actually use this set player health and set player armor as well when we are dealing damage to the player.